Hello, I'm Peter Laughlin, founder of MaxStudy.com. I put together this brief video to help you learn to better choose the best online degree program for you. Now, choosing the right online degree program can mean all the difference in the world between living your dream someday or merely having an empty dream. And choosing the right online degree program is so important because you also need to know that your degree will accomplish all of your academic goals, and perhaps even more important, your career goals. And what about accreditation as a factor in the selection process? Is that important to you? Well, before going there, you need to ask yourself a few questions. Number one, what are your career plans? Are you going for a degree to enhance your career prospects? If so, take it another level and consider whether or not accreditation is important to your employer, or maybe even more importantly, to potential future employers. If the answer is yes, you need to be thinking about accreditation now. Finding out that a school is not accredited later is going to be a problem when you've already spent 2 or 3 years or 4 years there earning a degree that's not going to be a help to your career. Now, if your goal is just to obtain a great education, no problem. There are many schools that are not accredited in the traditional sense, but still offer a great education. So in that sense, accreditation may not be of importance to you. You also, though, need to consider if you're going to apply for student loans. If you need student loans, in particular deferred student loans, accreditation will again become a factor in the selection process. The reason is that to be eligible for student loans, you need to be enrolled in a school that's accredited, that's regionally accredited, or is accredited by a body that's recognized by the U.S. Department of Education. Well, that begs the question, how do you determine whether or not a school is regionally accredited or not? Well, just go ahead and ask them. Look at their website. They should be proud of the fact. But take it a step further. You want to be 100% sure. Go to the website of the Council for Higher Education Accreditation. That's www.chea.org, and you can easily find out if the school is regionally accredited. Likewise, if you need to determine if a school is accredited by a body recognized by the U.S. Department of Education, go ahead and ask them. Look at their website, but take it to the next level. Go to the U.S. Department of Education's website, www.ed.gov, and see if the school is accredited by a body that's recognized by the U.S. Department of Education. And very easy to find that out right at that website. The next thing you need to consider, what type of learner are you? What's best compatible for you in terms of the learning formats that the online colleges and universities use? Typically, there are two e-learning formats that are popular today. The first one is the synchronous model, where classes are scheduled at certain times and dates, and you are expected to log on and participate in that class at the appointed times. The other model is the asynchronous model, and it's by its nature is not synchronous. It's more flexible, and there are no regular class times and schedules. Testing out is another model that I've introduced here, and that's merely studying on your own, reading books, and then when you're ready, going to test centers that are throughout the country in every major city. In fact, they're throughout the world. And if you score high enough on the exams, you can apply those scores for college credit. There's thousands upon thousands of regionally accredited institutions that do accept transfer credit for testing out. Let's cover the three of these in greater detail. First of all, the synchronous e-learning format. What are the positive features? Number one, it is very similar to what you know, the traditional classroom model, in that the classes are scheduled at certain times and dates. Requires somewhat less discipline for that very reason. The classes are regular and the assignments are scheduled with regularity. And there's great predictability with this model. If you're someone that needs predictability in your life, you need to know when the class is, you need to work that around all of your other hectic schedules. If predictability is important, synchronous e-learning format is probably for you. What are some of the negatives, the cons, if you will, of this? Well, they tend to be more inflexible, particularly in terms of comparison to the asynchronous model. They're not compatible with those who work irregular schedules. Assignments must be completed as scheduled. And there's virtually no ability to accelerate. You're limited by the pace of the class. You can't move ahead and get your degree sooner in most cases. Let's look at the asynchronous model by contrast. Well, number one, you get to work around your schedule. You can take classes 24/7. It is self-paced learning, and for many that's a positive feature. For some not, but for many people they consider that a positive feature. And you definitely here have a possibility of accelerating because you can move ahead at your own pace more quickly. You may, depending on the school's policy, be able to earn your degree more quickly. What are some of the negatives here? Well, it does require more self-discipline than the synchronous model. There's possibly less interaction with your peers, with your other students and the professors. And it is self-paced learning. Remember I said some people look at that as a negative feature. Let's now turn to testing out. Well, testing out is completely flexible. Why? You study what you want and when you wish to study it, and you test out. You take the test when you feel you're ready. You're ready in 2 weeks, schedule the exam. You're ready in 6 months, schedule the exam. Great flexibility here. And if you get the grades, you can apply them for transfer credit in, again, thousands of institutions around the country. And you definitely, because of this, can rapidly accelerate. And by the way, you can use testing out in conjunction with one of the other programs, whether it be synchronous or asynchronous, because while you're enrolled in your degree program, most universities will allow, at least to some extent, some testing out so that you can apply those credits to get your degree sooner and more cheaply, by the way. What are the negative features? Well, testing out requires a heck of a lot of self-discipline. It's not a good fit for everyone, and there's really no meaningful interaction with your peers and professors. Why? You are on your own here. And it may require more study than other formats. Typically, when you have a professor, they give you some guidance and tips on what may be on their final exam. With testing out, all you know are the topics of the exam. You have to study virtually everything. Okay, where do we go from here? Well, let's first look back and see what we've learned. We've discussed whether or not you're earning a degree for the pleasure of education or you're doing it to enhance your career. If you're enhancing your career, you need to be thinking about accreditation. We talked about the two types of accreditation, regional accreditation and accreditation by a body that's recognized by the U.S. Department of Education. We also looked at student loans and why it's important that a school be accredited if you're going to need student loans, particularly deferred student loans. And we discovered how you can absolutely be sure whether or not a school is regionally accredited or accredited by a body recognized by the Department of Education. You can go to the websites and easily find that out. We also discussed the various learning models that most online institutions use today. That's the synchronous model versus the asynchronous model. One tends to be more flexible than the other. One has predictability. One requires more self-discipline. And again, depending on the type of person you are and your lifestyle, you select the one that's right for you. And the school that has one of these programs or both of them may enter into you making a decision to go there or not to go there. And also we discussed how testing out can possibly be an enhancement to help you accelerate and get your degree more quickly and perhaps more inexpensively. Okay, now what do? Well, we start by gathering information about various online colleges and universities. How do we do this? We get the information from websites, Google searches. There's plenty of things. The internet now is a fantastic tool for getting information. But remember this, you cannot make an intelligent decision without what? Information, right? Okay, you need that information. So you can go all over the web finding it, or you can just go to my website, little plug here, maxstudy.com. But really I have everything there, and it's free information. You just go look at any school program, any degree, associates, PhDs, it's all there. Click on the links, you can obtain free information. Then you draw comparisons with that information. Find a school that's a good fit for you. All right, I encourage you to start getting information today so that you can earn the degree that you deserve tomorrow. Thank you.